going to go through the most common asked questions that I received in comments to the videos. Number 1, how to file for divorce. In California, in order to file for divorce, you only need to fill out just a few forms. Without children, 2 forms, FL 100 and FL 110. Sometimes, in some counties like San Francisco, there is a form called ADR, arbitration form. It's basically the form that says you're acknowledging that you don't have to fight this through litigation. You can go through arbitration, through a process that is less litigious. And that form has a couple pages that you would read and then sign acknowledging that you read that. So with that, filing for divorce would get a case number. Without a case number, the court cannot grant a divorce at all. With that case number, you would need then to serve your spouse. So the court has jurisdiction over the spouse, but you cannot serve it yourself. It has to be someone other than you over 18. So to answer the question how to file for divorce, fill out these forms, make 3 copies, go to the courthouse. You can Google family court or superior court, family division, San Francisco or Alameda, and then the address will pop up in Google. Just go there, find a clerk's office, bring at least 3 copies because all of them will be stamped, but one the clerk will keep and scan. The other copy will be for the server to serve the other side, and 1 copy for your records. So at least 3 copies of these forms. If there are children involved, you will see in the form FL 100 on the first page, it says if children are involved, you have to fill out a form called FL 105, which unfortunately includes information that has to do with their addresses throughout their entire life, which is insane because I don't know why it's not abolished, but it's public record. So everyone can see, for example, when Elon Musk, when Claire filed a case in San Francisco, I was searching for that. I was able to get the file. I was able to see the address of the children in San Francisco. Thankfully, they sealed the file now, so nobody can see it, but it creates a potential threat for sick-minded people. So anyway, that form needs to be filled out. Otherwise, the clerk will reject it. Okay, question number 2. What are the grounds for divorce in my state? I can only tell you what the grounds typically are in California, which is where I practice. And it's called irreconcilable differences. Irreconcilable differences, in other words, is we don't get along and we're not going to get together anymore. So when court decides to dissolve the marriage, and if parties do that in open courthouse, which in open courtroom, meaning it doesn't have to involve judge. It can be done uncontested through paperwork, but if it's happening, if someone is requesting bifurcation of marital status, meaning if someone specifically files a motion to be single after 6 months and 1 day from the day that the other spouse was served with the divorce paperwork because they want to get married or whatever the reason is, then the court will ask, are you sure the marriage is irreconcilable? And so it used to be fault state, California, where, the court will only grant a divorce if the spouse who is seeking divorce can prove without, sort of reasonable doubt. It could be a trial about dirty laundry, who cheated on whom and when and how, and it's all abolished. No more. California it doesn't matter if someone cheated, if someone is different orientation. It only matters potentially if it affects the ability to parent, but that's a different conversation. So irreconcilable differences means no matter how nasty the other spouse is, they don't get less money, more money, they don't have to pay more support, less support, they don't have to give up the house, they don't have to be punished. Some clients are wondering, it's like, oh, she cheated or he cheated, and now I have to pay spousal support to them so that they can live with that other affair. That's ridiculous. But yes, California is an awful state. So, irreconcilable differences. Question number 3. How is child custody determined? So, child custody, there are two parts to child custody: physical child custody and legal child custody. Physical child custody is about where the child primarily resides. Why is it important? Well, when you fill out school applications, daycare applications, there's got to be an address. The legal custody is about who is making decisions for the child, major decision, religious, school, doctor's treatment, very important decisions. Typically, if both parents are fit to parent, meaning there are no drug and alcohol abuse that affects parenting, if there is no domestic violence restraining orders or domestic abuse, if there is no distance, for example, one parent lives in Germany and the other parent is in California parenting that small child, and it's going to be inconvenient to constantly ask permission for certain things. Either way, if both parents are fit parents and they live in California, then the court will say equal custody. Equal custody means joint legal, joint physical. But sometimes people confuse custody with visitation. So when they say, oh, I have 50-50 custody and I want to have 50-50 custody, what they mean is equal timeshare. So that has nothing to do with custody. That has to do with visitation. So both parents can have equal custody, but one parent will have every other weekend or 33% visitation time, which means the visitation will determine the child support, which is the next topic. So visitation is a term of art that explains how much time that a parent spends with the child. Question number 4. Will I have to pay child support or alimony? There are two different topics. Child support will depend on the income of both parents and visitation percentage. How do we determine visitation percentage? Just go online, type in child support calculator. The first page, this is used by the child support services. The first page that has childsupportcalculator.gov, use that and click on blue called advanced. And that advanced will allow to see a list of different visitation options. For example, every other weekend, 14%. 2 weekends, you will see it's a lot. And if your schedule is different, then there is an option at the bottom to create your own, for example, 2 days a month or whatever that is. And when you click OK, then it will generate percentage. So that's how I do it. And that's also a software that Child Support Services is using to calculate child support. And when you plug in the numbers, you use gross before tax if it's W-2 income. For example, you get a paycheck and you put gross amount because child support calculator is automatically deducting taxes. So be careful to include gross. Then if you have 401k contributions, whatever that is on each given year, usually it's 19,500, 20,000, whatever that amount is, divided by 12. So you have monthly, then health insurance, then any property tax deduction. So there is a list of permittable things to deduct. Expenses, people wonder, well, I have a very high lifestyle. That doesn't matter. For example, if you have high rent, doesn't matter. If you go on vacations and that's expensive, doesn't matter. So we only enter gross amounts by both spouses, the percentage first. So we put how many children, like 1, 2, 3, put the number of children, then percentage of visitation, gross amounts, whatever retirement, and then deductions, and then click OK, and it will generate child support. You can also, at the bottom of this calculator, there is temporary spousal support. It's turned off automatically. So if you want to turn it on, you just click what county you're in, Santa Clara, Marin. In San Francisco, click Santa Clara because that's what court is using. So click Send Declare, click OK, and then it will generate child support and spousal support. And then you will know if you're liable for either child support or spousal support. I have a 17-minute long video about spousal support. It's called Ultimate Guide to Spousal Support. So I'm not going to go into the details of spousal support in this video, but this is a temporary spousal support, meaning it's only designed based on current income during the divorce process, whatever time the divorce process takes up until the final judgment. And then there is a permanent support after that. Child support can be modified. People can agree that child support is set at 0 if both parents earn semi-equal amount of money and they just don't want to go through calculations and bonus tables. That child support calculator is not perfect because it does not have bonus table. What child support service does, so for example, if someone earns $250,000, but they get also discretionary bonus every year, $100,000, Child Support Services takes that discretionary bonus and adds as base salary into the wages and salary. But the spouse doesn't get it every month. So then the spousal and child support is going to be higher at the moment before even, let's say, the child support services add that number, but the spouse doesn't get it until the end of next year. So that's the discrepancy with this calculator. So what courts use, so-called Master calculator with Osler-Smith bonus table, it's an attachment to the calculator that has percentage. So whenever the spouse gets $10,000, they have to pay 5.73% in child support and 12 point something percent in spousal support, and they have to pay it within 10 days upon receipt. So it's more refined type of calculator. That's the difference between using child support services versus having more refined calculator with an attorney and have it as a court order. If someone is earning self-employment income, then it doesn't go into the wages and salary. There is a second other taxable income or self-employment income. I put it under depends. So if it's self-employment income, under self-employment income, but it's not the revenue amount. So you know what I mean if you're self-employed. For example, if you own a restaurant, you have, let's say, $1 million in revenue, meaning customers paid, but then you have salaries to pay, you have expenses, rent to pay. You only put in the dismaster the net amount before taxes, not the revenue, not after taxes, but in between, net before taxes. So I don't want this video to be very long. I have 12 questions. I'm going to make it part 1. In the next video, I'm going to discuss what happens to our house when we get divorced. Can I get divorced without a lawyer? I'm very excited to announce that I have a new program, divorceacademy.org. This is the program designed for clients or potential clients who are interested to dive in deeper into each topic of their divorce. Each video is more than 30 minutes long, and it has a lot of condensed value. It has interviews with financial planners in divorce, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, and it has real case scenario, as if I'm sitting with a client and we have an interview, and it has different topics. For example, if someone wants to relocate, what does the client ask and what I respond in an interview with a client. So it's like real life examples. Check out my video. I will link it down below. This program is available at each video is $300 per video. So it's much less expensive than having an actual consultation. So if you enjoyed this video, click like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with people who need to watch it. And I will see you in my next consultation. Bye.